Hello, everyone. This is Jordan. Welcome back to the Daily Gold YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Monday afternoon or Monday evening for some of you, March 24th, 2025. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you have an even better week ahead. Now, for today's Macro Mondays, I'm going to keep this very simple. We're talking about silver. And there's all this talk about industrial demand, silver's underperforming gold, price suppression, yada, 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 all that stuff. But again, I'm going to try and keep this very simple. I'm going to look at one chart, and I think I figured out when silver is going to outperform gold. So let's get right to it. Okay, so this is a chart here. Here we have silver in the top. The middle, the biggest portion here is gold. And this is silver divided by gold. This is weekly data, by the way. So this is a weekly line chart, which means it only uses the close of every week. Now, it's good to have that here in this chart. And we're using it because we can look at 55 years or almost 60 years all in one chart. Because I like to look at all that and take it in one image if possible. Now, the red here shows resistance and key breakouts, and we can see that here for silver. Same thing for gold. The vertical blue lines show when silver began a period of outperformance that was significant. So these vertical lines show when silver began a period of outperformance. Now, I've marked this one here in red because I don't know if some of you remember this, but during that 75 to 76, that 19-month or 20-month correction in gold that went down 45%. Silver outperformed. We can see here. So silver outperformed. Silver actually consolidated bullishly. It did not correct as much as gold. So very interesting. So the 70s are a little bit different because remember, at the end of the 60s, or at least at that peak at the very end or beginning of 1968, with respect to silver in the gold stocks, they were at an extreme level or an extreme value compared to gold, which was fixed. So that's why silver in the 70s, at least at the beginning of the 70s, underperformed gold. But anyway, I'm getting off the more important points that I want to make. So again, vertical lines here, vertical blue lines, that shows the points when silver began to outperform gold, because that's what we care about. And so we can see down here, again, silver divided by gold, got the vertical lines. Now, the blue arrows show the points where gold had a breakout, but then came back and tested its 200-day moving average. Now, I'm using the weekly equivalent. Yes, this is a weekly chart, 42-week moving average, pretty damn close to the 200-day moving average. So again, very important. Let's focus on gold breakouts. And then after the breakout, when did gold test the 200-day moving average? And at what point around that time did silver begin its outperformance? Remember, these vertical lines show when silver began its outperformance. So let's go through the breakouts one by one. So this breakout here in 72, this was actually a 100-year breakout because you have to go back. You look at the price of gold in 1968, it had this pop to around 43, 44. Same thing, I think, happened at one point in the late 40s. You go back to the Civil War, it popped to the same level. So this, obviously, we were going off the gold standard. Gold at this time was really, really undervalued. So, of course, it would make an explosive move, and it was a breakout from a more than 100-year base. So, huge breakout move. In 72, big move up. Then it came back down. Here, it tested the 200-day. A little while after that, silver began its outperformance. So gold tested the 200-day, pops higher here. Then it comes back down, tests the 200-day again, or it goes a little bit below it. But so in between these points, that was when silver began its outperformance. So that's one. Again, we're not concerned with this one because this was kind of an anomaly during a severe cyclical bear market for the sector. But we come back to 1978. So gold breaks out here, breaks out, it comes back and does a retest, and then it just goes parabolic. I mean, that was nirvana. So right here again, this is the point when silver began to outperform gold again. So when did that happen? Oh, by the way, it came when it retested the breakout, it bottomed right around the 200-day moving average. So again, this was actually right when it tested the 200-day moving average. This one was a little after the first test. Now, if we go back here and look at the 2000s, interestingly, this was a really significant breakout here in 2003, above 300. You could go back here. I mean, this was like a 6-year breakout. So gold breaks out, shoots higher, then it comes back and does the retest, goes a little bit below the 200-day, but comes back down here, and we can see this was at a point when silver really began to outperform gold. So again, breakout, retest, test the 200-day, silver begins to outperform. This is a little different now. Middle of 2005, gold was consolidating very bullishly this entire time. And so this is a little bit off the scenario I'm talking about, but this was actually, for silver, this was, I think, a 17-year breakout. So we have to go back here. So this was let's see, 2005. So this was a 17 or 18-year breakout for silver. Now for gold, this was a really significant, if you draw this, gold was over a 20-year breakout. So really significant breakout for both. And perhaps because it was such a big breakout for silver, perhaps that's why silver began to outperform. So that one was a little different. Okay, then we go here, 2009. So gold breaks out past 1,000, moves higher, then it comes back and almost tests the 200-day. In fact, it actually tested the 150-day. So if we can come back down here and we can see, again, this is silver against gold. Silver is done underperforming gold right around this time when you had this retest here, a little bit of a move higher. Then it came back again to, it looks like, another test of the 200-day. And so that was right around the point when, again, silver began to outperform gold. I'm sorry, I wish there was a way to zoom in or show a second chart, but I wanted to keep it all on one page for you. Next, this is interesting. Remember this breakout, 2019, big breakout move, not really a retest, but it kind of came back to the 200-day, got pretty close. Then it made another move higher. Then you had the COVID crash. By the way, COVID crash, gold bottoms at the 200-day. Again, this is after a breakout. And looky here, silver begins to outperform after the second test of the 200-day. So let's think about all that and where we are here and now. Huge breakout of the 13-year cup and handle pattern. No pullback yet. I wouldn't count this as a pullback. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're looking for a real test of the 200-day. So steady move higher, no pullback yet. What do you think happens when we get that pullback to the 200-day? What do you think happens? Think about all the history that I've went through. And by the way, when gold made this breakout here, silver did outperform for a little while, then it faded. So yeah, silver, this move began its outperformance, but then silver here has not performed as well as gold. So silver is having to chew through all this resistance from 26.28 up to 33.35. Silver is chewing through that resistance when gold has this blue sky right here. So we are going to see the exact opposite when silver makes it above 35 and 37 bucks, and especially when silver goes to 50 and goes above it at that point. Then it's really going to fly both in nominal and relative terms. So we're not quite there yet with respect to silver outperforming gold. But based on the technicals, so this is the monthly chart here, monthly candles here. This is the monthly line chart. So every data point here is the monthly close. This is a close at 35.52 right here. So this is resistance right around 35. So this is what we're coming up to. So we're not at 35 yet. So if we put aside what we said on the last slide, I would say silver, when it breaks 35 and 37, or even just 35 at this point, if silver makes a monthly close above 35, we can see here a monthly close above 35, that could be the point when it starts to outperform gold. So last thing, this is a quarterly chart. We're coming up on the end of the month and the quarter. So quarterly close next Monday. And let's see where we are. I mean, can silver hold this level right here? Because if silver were to close right here, this would be, let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. This would be the third highest quarterly close ever for silver. So, and if silver could make a quarterly close above 34.35, that would be the second highest quarterly close ever. So we can see here from looking at this chart, the significance of 35, same thing in the quarterly chart. So that's what we are looking at. That's the reality for silver. There's two things. Number one, it has to get by that 35 resistance, maybe even 37 at the same time. So when it surpasses those levels, it will begin outperforming gold. And at the same time, think about what I talked about for most of this video. Silver begins to outperform gold after first gold makes a major breakout, gold moves, then gold comes back and tests its 200-day moving average. That's the point when silver will begin to outperform gold. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you, is that going to happen in 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 weeks, 6 months, 5 weeks, 5 months? I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody else does either. So that's where we are. But I did do a premium update this weekend, and I focused a lot on silver. So I covered my favorite silver stocks, some other ones that I'm looking at, what you should be looking for in silver stocks. So if you want to get that and plenty of other analysis, consider my premium service. Go to thedailygold.com/premium. Scroll down to the bottom, subscribe there. Those of you who are subscribers, I appreciate you and your business so much. And hope the rest of you who are not, hope you'll take a look at it. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Would love to hear from you. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.